Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back. We are on a Sunday night mission. Once again, happy Mother's Day to all my mothers and all my mothers, honey, mothers all around the world. Okay. We are going straight into Married to Medicine, Season 8, Episode 10, Ain't No Party Like a Self-Love Party. Now, Dr. Jackie, honey, you tried to package this up real cute talking about self-love party. Honey, it was raunch. It was a raunch fest, okay? In the middle of the day, equipped with porn stars and penises. But we'll get into it as we get into it. So, when the episode first opens up, we see everybody doing their thing. You know how they do the reels where they show a little bit of everybody. We see Contessa over there rationing food because Scott ordered 3 salads for 7 people. Child, first of all, honey, if y'all don't actually order some pizza or something somebody can eat, child, what is this? Not 3 salads for 7 people. We see Dr. Heavenly giving Funky Dineva a good side tooth. And then we see Dr. Jackie, and she's talking to one of her patients. This lady is playing with her child's life, honey. She decided that she ain't gonna come to her appointment because it was raining outside. Now listen, if you ain't got good tires, if you in Houston, honey, you might not make it home. So I kind of understand. But Atlanta and up and through, child, if you don't go to that appointment and see what's going on with that baby. And then we stop over to Dr. Contessa, right? So she was like, I hadn't been feeling well lately, and I took a COVID test, and it turns out it was positive. She's like, being a doctor, it's not if, it's when. No, Contessa, don't even try it, honey, because no, ma'am, you were not wearing a mask. When you went to meet Anila in that park and you was talking in that man's face that had those puppies in the backseat of his Jeep, then you was sitting there talking face to face with him, no mask on. Then you went in, the contractor was there, no mask on. Then you went somewhere else, you ain't have a mask on. You and Scott like to play all day, honey, so do not blame it on you being a doctor, because there's plenty of doctors who have not yet contracted the virus. Child. Okay, Contessa. So now everyone has to quarantine for 14 days because they were, around Contessa, especially during the march. Okay. So they take us through their 14 days. We see some people working out, some people sleeping, eating, whatever it is they're doing. Then they have a Zoom call and they catch up. And so Contessa's like, you know what? I'm just going to keep my mask on. I'm still being safe. Honey, find time to do it. Child, you done got everybody sick. Now you talking about you're going to be safe. So Dr. Simone's son comes home after being at a hotel for 14 days. And she was like, thank you for checking on us. Honey, we could have been dead. I mean, you didn't send no food. You didn't send a note. You didn't call, no text. You didn't hit me in the DMs, nothing. Child, we like to eat. We like Chick-fil-A. Ain't stopped by the house not once, child. These kids don't be worried about nothing, honey. As long as they ain't sick, they're good. Then we see Anila getting her blogging on. We see Miss Quad, and Dr. Contessa goes to visit. Contessa, you look cute. I like that look get up, honey. So she shows up, and Quad sprayed her down with Lysol, as she should, honey, because Contessa's, immune system probably ain't all the way back to square one. So if I were a Quad, I wouldn't even be meeting with Contessa, but that's just me. Like, people want to know why I stay away, and that's exactly why I stay away, because you don't know who's carrying what. They can seem fine on the outside, but they can actually be a carrier. So, honey, me and my son, we're going to remain in our bubble, okay? Contessa said, she heard the dogs barking. She was like, I promised my baby a dog, but I don't know if I'm going to deliver on that. She was like, I did have a nanny, but the nanny stole the dog. And so Quad was like, what? She said, listen here, you steal mine, honey, run up to get done up. I know that's right, Quad. Quad said, do not touch my animals, okay? Because I ain't playing with you. Then Contessa starts talking to Quad about Scott cheating. And she said Scott doesn't believe in counseling, and so they're not going to be able to do that. Oh, my goodness. This is every episode. What episode are we on? And we've been hearing about Scott cheating for the past every episode. So I'm just like confused as to what's going to be the outcome. And then she said, you know what he told me? He said, I almost left your behind. And she was like, what? And it was all because I went to school. And she was like, I didn't cheat on him. I don't treat him bad. I don't talk to him disrespectfully. But it was just because I wanted to go to school. And so Quad said, look, I do not envy her, because men want you to be barefoot and pregnant. They want you to do whatever it is they want you to do. They want you to stay in the kitchen. They want you to stay at home and raise these kids. Child, and then they hit you with I'm on a business trip. All the while they be in between somebody else's legs. Honey, when I tell you that's straight facts, Quad, you better preach. Baby, listen, some men want you to be tied up in the house. That's how Marceau is doing Tisha over there at Love and Marriage Huntsville. Want her to stay in the house. He doesn't want her to spread her wings, because if she comes outside, she gonna find out he doing something he ain't supposed to be doing at the events. I'm just saying, honey. So then they start to eat. Contessa said, you know what? I ain't got no time for Sky, child. Let's not even worry about it. So then she goes down to try to eat her soup, child, and couldn't even eat it because her shield got in the way. But at least y'all are wearing something, because in the past, Contessa wasn't wearing nothing. Then we go over to see Toya, and she's going over to Lisa Nicole's house. Okay, Lisa Nicole, honey, you say you're going to be a staple in this season. Okay, girl. Child, we know we ain't see Darren. Darren was probably like, let me go and go. I don't want them people saying nothing to me. If I see a Bravo camera coming, I am not a part. So Toya brought Lisa something to drink because I guess Lisa doesn't drink wine, but she brought some wine for herself. Child, why are you traveling with wine? Girl, you're giving me very much Kim Zolciak in your solo cup. Girl, you can't go nowhere without a bottle of wine or a glass of wine. So Lisa said, you know, what were you doing in quarantine? She said, oh, just online shopping. And child, I'm sure you was. Lisa said, you know, that Zoom call was a mess that we were on. We were just catching up and everything. And Quad, you know, Quad was kind of taking up for you. And Toya was like, no, she was half taking up for me. Not actually taking up for me. It was some shade mixed up and through. So Quad was like, so Toya said, you know, Quad used to be my friend, but apparently she's a fake friend, because Toya said at this point, she doesn't want friends that are going to tear her down. She wants friends that are going to build her up. And she feels like that Quad and Heavenly and all the rest of them are against her. But Toya, I'm going to need you to do some, introspective work, and I'm going to need you to look at you, because if everybody is fussing with you, honey, the problem might be you. You're mad with Contessa, you're mad with Heavenly, now Neela done fell out with you, you're mad with Quad, you're mad with Heavenly. Like, we're going to have to do some work on ourselves. Like, I would like to see Toya go to a good therapist one season. Just sit down with a therapist and just talk about it. And while I'm speaking of therapists, Contessa, don't wait on Scott. You know what I'm saying? Because you going to a therapist might set off a light bulb in you to let you know that maybe this marriage is not for you. I'm not saying to go to the therapist to end your marriage. I'm just saying that if he will not go to the therapist with you, then you need to do some work on you. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Then we see Dr. Heavenly, and Dr. Jackie, and she's calling to invite the ladies. No, I'm sorry. Scratch that. We see Dr. Jackie calling Toya and Lisa. I'm so used to her calling Heavenly child. She calls Toya and Lisa and tells them that she's having a little get together at her house to talk about their lady parts. Okay, so she tried to downplay it, honey, but we're gonna get into it as we get into it. Over at the Whitmore's house, we see Cecil down there at that bar, per usual, making a drink. So Simone gets home with those hospital clothes on and sits straight down to drink. Now, see, this is how y'all got sick. You come in the house still with your COVID clothes on and have a sit down to get ready to have you a Moscow Mule. Girl, if you don't go upstairs and defunk and de-COVID and then come downstairs, child, that's why I'm glad it's only me and my 6-year-old, honey. I can control him. He already know. As soon as we hit that threshold, honey, all clothes are off. We need to get directly in the showers, honey. We need to scrub, and I disinfect every single night, honey. Y'all not about to bring nothing up and through here with me, honey. We don't know how people's immune systems will react to this disease. Child, I'm just praying for it to go away. So y'all join me in prayer. If you are a prayer or if you believe, I need you to go ahead and join me in prayer that we get rid of this COVID, because I'm ready to get back to my life and the zhuzh of it all. Okay. So anyway, Simone said, I want to have a small little gathering. And Cecil's like, well, because of COVID, it has to be very small. And so then he starts talking about how everybody are saying that they're empty nesters, right? But he said, he doesn't believe in the whole leaving your house at 18 and just going out into the world ill prepared. And let me tell you something, I'm with him, because I'm not going to just send my son out into the world at 18. Of course, I was ready to get out into the world. It wasn't that they put me out. I was ready to go. Honey, I was like, please release me, honey. Please give me my freedom papers. I'm ready to be released. Child, when is parole? I was just ready to go because my parents were very strict, and I was ready to go get my boy craze phase on. Honey, I was ready to go. Okay, but if my son needs to stay, he is more than welcome to stay. So I agree with you, Cecil. Cecil said, I lived above my mom's garage when I graduated. And Simone said, and you would still be there if it were not for SIMONE. Simone. I know that's right, child. Got him a doctor, honey, and now he down in the daytime making drinks. Okay, Cecil, honey. Came on up on you a little sugar mama. No, I'm just kidding. Cecil has a job in IT, or he did, and now he's doing real estate. I'm just playing with Cecil, but he does like a drink or two, honey, during the daylight hours. Anyway, so Simone said, you'll still be there if it wasn't for me. So Cecil talks about how sad he is that his dog died. He said, it was one thing dropping Michael off, and then Miles, he goes to work. But when the dog died, that was just something else. And then they show us past seasons, and it's just, I forgot that Married to Medicine has been on this long. I don't know why it feels like they've only been on for a short time, but they've been on for 8 years. I done went through an ex-boyfriend, an ex-husband, and now single. All throughout the duration of this Married to Medicine. Honey, ooh, child, puts everything in perspective, okay? Then we see Dr. Heavenly and her son go to look at this house that they want to buy, right? Because she's helping him to create generational wealth by investing in real estate. So she says she's owned plenty of homes, honey, done plenty of flipping of the properties. And so she wants to teach him to do the same thing. So she's giving him a pep talk. She's like, listen, when we go in here, play it cool. I don't want you just going in here being excited about everything. You need to point out the holes in the wall. The foundation's a little iffy, honey. The walls are slanted. You need to make sure you tell them something so that they can lower this price for us. Okay. So she was like, well, how much is it? He said, oh, it's $430,000. Say what now? Heavenly said, I gave him a budget of $150,000 and he went to $430,000. Okay, so they get to this house, right? And they're showing the house around. Now, I know every, geographic area is different. I know Atlanta is different from Texas. But I'm looking at this house for $430,000. And do y'all know what you can get in Houston for $430,000? I'm looking at this house like, I don't care if the Pacific Ocean is in the background. Honey, I don't care if your backyard is Cancun, Mexico. $430,000 for this? Child, no ma'am. Honey, this is not looking like $430,000. So they're looking around the house or whatever. And after looking at it, Heavenly's like, let me talk to my son for a minute by himself. So they talk and she's like, I really like it. And so she's like, having a property on this lakefront in this price point, you won't find that. So she's like, you know what? I think we should just keep this and use it as a rental. And she was like, I'm just going to buy up all the houses, honey. I might buy Toya's house. Heavenly, leave Toya alone. She not even messing with you this episode, Heavenly. Leave that lady alone, child. Over at Dr. Jackie's house, she's getting ready for her self-love party, and I'm doing air quotes, okay? So the ladies start to arrive. Lisa is wearing a Lisa Nicole original. She by Sheree. Take notes, honey. This is how you do it. Wear your own designs. Heavenly gets there talking about, oh, I'm kind of classy, babes, honey. I don't know about the sex party. What kind of party is this, girl? She know I'm classy. Get on in, Heavenly, and sit down, girl. So then Jackie introduces Shanice, but they call her Niecy. And she starts talking about government name Shanice, nickname Niecy, video name something. I'm like, what's happening? What kind of videos? So Quan said, what kind of videos you making? You talking about porn? She said, yes, I make porn. Dr. Jackie, now, honey, listen. I have called you a stick in the mud for I don't know how long, because all you do is eat grilled chicken out that air fryer and some bagged salad. Okay, and Curtis needs some mashed potatoes or something up and through. But baby, not you brought a whole porn star during the daylight hours. Then disguise this as a tea party. Got the girls in their nice formal dresses, their nice little sundresses to come out and talk to the porn star of it all, who doubles as your assistant. Child, oh baby, Atlanta got the jack of all trades. Do you hear me? Child, the medicine wives, as my mama call them. The medicine wives that went on over to Real Housewives of Atlanta style, okay? So she said sex is the only thing that, a woman really has. You need to know yourself. So Quad said, so you believe in masturbation? She said, yes, I do it all the time. Child, not this sex party dressed up like a cute tea party. Okay, child. Simone asked Anila about Toya. She was like, where's Toya? Anila's like, I don't know, because I'm having my own issues with her. So right now, I really just don't know. So then Simone was like, well, where is this coming from? Like, who are you hearing things from? And she's like, are the people at the tennis court? And she's like, yeah, I've heard that Toya is basically talking about behind my back about me not paying the makeup artist and things like that. She's just talking behind my back, and I don't think it's cool. So Simone was like, you know what? Y'all two need to just sit down and have a conversation about it. So the ladies are sitting down, and Quad asks Heavenly, does she like it left or right? So she was wondering if she liked that thing a little bit crooked to the left or like it a little bit crooked to the right. Because when it got that curve on it, it can kind of hit some of the spots in your whatnots, okay? So then Jackie said, that's a Peyronie's disease. Quad said, why it always gotta be a disease, honey? We like a little Captain Hook. I go shopping. Want it, then I cop it. Yeah, yeah, okay. I'm just saying, honey. Megan Thee Stallion told us all about the Captain Hook. Child, come on now. So Toya comes in. Well, after they got through talking about if they like to curve to the left and or to the right, Toya comes in, honey, quiet as a church mouse, not speaking one word. She spoke, did a little church wave, and they were like, take your mask off. She was like, no, I will not be taking my mask off, which I don't blame on this part, honey. When your bones have got through aching for 14 days and you've been sick and now you've passed it on to your husband and Contessa and got everybody sick up and through, I wouldn't be taking my mask off either. I wouldn't trust it or chance it again. She goes over to Anila. So, Anila kind of acting funny and kind of a little standoffish. So she's like, why you acting like that? Why you not really talking? What's wrong? Anila said, I've been hearing a lot of things being said behind my back and it's hurting me. Toya said, Anila, you sound ridiculous. See, Toya, stop talking reckless to this woman. If she's telling you that she feels a certain way, you need to listen to her instead of just automatically going in. Girl, anyway, so she's like, you sound ridiculous. So Anila said, no, girl, I do not sound ridiculous. Anila said, all that hair and makeup and that all that you was talking on the bus, you should have talked about that with me separately, not in front of the ladies. And not only that, Anila said, in the neighborhood, everybody is talking and saying that you're being a bad friend behind my back. You're talking about me, all the makeup stuff. Toya's like, look, you're being a drama queen. Anila said, no, I heard you said that I was a dingbat. And she was like, I did say you're a dingbat. She's like, say it to my face. She's like, okay, Anila, you are a dingbat. Anila, listen to me, because I saw you over on Heavenly's channel and I like you now. Okay, I really do. I like you now. I respect you for standing up for yourself. This is what don't tell me to my face. What you should have said is, it takes one to know one, honey. Ain't that the pot calling the kettle, calling the pot, calling the kettle? Honey, can't nobody be ding or baddish when they're talking about themselves. Because quiet as it's kept, Toya, honey, you are not the sharpest tool in the shed. Child, I'm gonna sit up and call this lady a dingbat. What makes her a dingbat? The fact that she likes to blog? Because she said over at Heavenly's channel, honey, that you were asking about blogging on the slick, talking about asking for a friend. Girl, if you want a YouTube channel, just say that, honey. Anybody can start one. Call me, I'll tell you. Child, sit up there calling that lady a dingbat. And Anila, don't tell her, tell it to my face. Tell her, look, your opinion of me really doesn't matter. However you feel about me, keep it to yourself. And definitely don't go spreading lies like I don't pay people. Okay, I told you I was going to pay them and they've been paid. Girl, don't do that no more. Honey, you got to tell her. Child, anyway, so then Niecy starts telling them that it's different ages and stages of pleasure, honey. She's like, when you get 40, honey, you just want to ride them all night long. Now, listen, I've heard that from a few people. Y'all tell me down in the comments if that's actually true, honey, because I'm nearing 40. And I mean, I'm trying to see if I'm going to be able to get my zhuzh or what. Because right now I don't want to be bothered. Okay, don't touch me, honey. I do not want to be bothered because I don't trust you. Then she tells them to rate their sex. Meanwhile, Toya over there lying to Anila and apologizing like she really cares. But Anila was smart. Anila said, this is one of those apologies where she's like, please be quiet. Stop embarrassing me in front of my friends. Okay, I apologize. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm glad you recognized it, Anila, because that's exactly the type of apology that she was offering you. Honey, Toya can't be trusted. So they're rating themselves, okay? Or themselves. Dr. Jackie rates herself a 7. No, I wasn't wrong with the editing and then I just took a long pause. A 7? Dr. Jackie. Honey, nothing about you says 7. But you know what? It be them quiet ones that's a freak. Because the fact that you brought this porn star here to say that y'all need to watch some porn and or masturbate, honey, you might be a 7. Okay? Quiet as it's kept. So then, after she gets this bag and it has this giant vibrator in it that's a tongue, she's like, you know what? I'm a strong 6. Dr. Jackie, you wasn't ready, honey. Dr. Heavenly says she's a 5. Honey, she gets a dog bone. Quad goes over there and puts it in her mouth, honey, S&M style, and says, you know what? You need to be nicer to your friends. You don't know how to act, so choke on this bone, honey. Quad rates herself a number 8. Quad, I see you trying to put it out there in the universe, honey, through Married to Medicine. Let the men know, honey, I'm a number 8 in bed. I'm an 8 in bed all day long. I could be a 10 depending on who you are. So you bring the other 2, and together we're 10. Quad, I see what you did there, honey. So she gets some anal beads. Child, they can go in the back or the front. Okay, girl. So Lisa Nicole gets a 7. She rates herself a 7, and then she gets an anal plug. Now listen to me. Listen to me. When I saw that Lisa Nicole got an anal plug, and child, you know, they was alleging some stuff about, child, look, girl, throw that anal plug in the trash, honey, and don't take that home with you. That's all I'm saying. Simone, she rated herself a number 7. She got a bill, and they said it could be used for sex. Honey, Simone said, no, it's going to be used for him to bring me a Moscow Mule, for him to go rub my feet, for him to bring me some, bring my shoes from downstairs, bring me some food. Simone said, no, it will not be used for sex. Contessa, Contessa says she is a number 10. Say what now, honey? What they said? A number 10. She said, you know, they said you a number 10. She said, well, I will be after I fulfill all my fantasies. Child, listen. Then they put her in this, they have this gag in her mouth. They have this thing over her face and around her neck. She's handcuffed and got whips and chains and stuff. Honey, Contessa a little freak. And her and Scott are both Scorpios too. Honey, enough said. That's all I'm going to say. Child, somebody please get Contessa somebody to play with. Because, child, she dying to let loose. She got urges and submerges, as Portia would say. They moaning and yawning. Honey, let Portia tell it, honey. I don't know over there the Real Housewives of Atlanta and hang out with Portia, child. She going to put you up on what you need to do when y'all be gone off the henny, okay? Quad goes over to visit Heavenly. Quad said, it took y'all long enough to answer this door, because, honey, she was standing out there forever, and then Alora finally answered the door. Quad starts with the first degree. Girl, you got a little shape on you. Is that weave in your hair? Girl, have you ever kissed a boy? Girl, what size are your boobs? I'm like, okay, Quad. Don't act like at 15, honey, we wasn't sneaking in there to call boys on our light up phone. Y'all already seen what I posted in my community page, honey. We were calling boys, sneaking around, wearing lipstick with the dark liner, calling people, singing escape songs, honey. Who can I run to? Quad, girl gone. Leave that girl alone. So Heavenly prepared or ordered another meal because Heavenly ain't cooking. So they sit down, they start talking about Toya and her shady ways. So Quad said, you know what? Toya is really showing out. She's starting to feel herself since she got that little house. So Heavenly was like, you think so? And Quad was like, yes, honey, because Quad is kept. Before she got that house, she couldn't even get credit at Z Gallery. Honey, not the furniture store. Yes, I said furniture store. I'm from the South, honey. We country. Child, listen. So they have a little kiki about Toya, and they feel like basically Toya is smelling her piss, as my grandma would say. Now that you done got put on, now you're trying to talk about any and everybody, talking about Anila's finances, talking about Heavenly is copying your steez. You talking about Quad living in an apartment. And now the home has been sold, and I'm not sure what's happening with that, allegedly. But that was the end of Married to Medicine, honey, and I was just shocked at Dr. Jackie. The fact that she brought a porn star all up and through. Are y'all as shocked as I am? Or did y'all expect that? Because, I mean, it was set up so pretty. You know how in the past season, she had those lemon squeezes and stuff? And now we got a full-on daytime porn party. Honey, them people in Atlanta, baby, y'all let loose, honey. Where are my subscribers from Atlanta? Comment down below if y'all get loose like this, honey. Because, I mean, Atlanta said Freaknik 97 all day long. Well, I am so happy that you guys joined me for this review. And that concludes Married to Medicine. Don't hesitate to comment, like, and subscribe. Comment down below. Tell me how you feel about this episode. What were some things you enjoyed? I hope you had a happy Mother's Day. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.